Okay, so hello and God bless all of you here on Instagram. For some time, you have known that my Instagrams were being hijacked from people who worked behind the scenes for Instagram, whether it be from their cyber security department. The page has been limited and has been restricted. And so if you come to this page and you expect to be able to view my lives or get my lives when I'm live, that won't happen until justice is served and these great lengths and levels that the enemy has gone to and through to hold my voice hostage and to limit and restrict my voice from being heard and my truth from being told is finally brought to some level of accountability. I would like this to be heard and known coming directly from me. I have had enemies from the church, high-ranking demons in the church, bishops, presbytery, whatever you, false bishops, false presbytery, whatever you want to call them, for years, stemming back to 2007. We are now in 2024. So the hacking for my pages didn't start in 2020. It started in 2014 after I joined a nefarious church with a stalker and a false pastor that was the leader at the time. I know for a fact that this person was responsible for most of my dwindling appearance on social media because I did a lot of investigating and I found out a lot. And you'll be surprised what people will do just to silence you and to hide you for many different reasons. You have some men who hide you and they don't want anybody to see you or know you exist because of their own personal agenda that they have planned for you. In some circumstances or in this instances, they want to make you their bed warmer, side chick, whoremonger, whatever. And when that doesn't happen because you don't go for the fluky duke or the hokey doke, they start trying to find other ways to manipulate and destroy you as a person. And they go to even greater lengths to destroy your credibility as a woman of God, as a leader of God. And so they try to lay the axe at the core of who you are on social platforms and in the social media light. And so what better way to falsely imprison somebody, to isolate them and to abuse them and to restrict their liberties for no reason at all, but by just doing this, what they have done. And although I have remained in control of my behaviors and my actions, and I've held fast to my faith and my belief that one day justice would be served and that these injustices that have taken place and the bribes that took place with Zuckerberg and his constituents and the people who were beneath him and associated with him in high-ranking places will soon be brought to accountability in one way or another. There are a lot of African American women that are being held hostage socially, religiously, and their freedom of assembly rights have been violated greatly. Their freedom of expression and their freedom of speech has been violated greatly. In fact, most of their rights have been violated and they have not been able to receive the normal liberties of other women. And so I'm just speaking up from my experiences with truth and evidence, because you can see right here that the live is messed up. It says at the bottom of this screen while I'm live, and this screen record right now, it says, we're telling your followers that you have started a live stream. That's a lie. Because the second thing never came up. The third thing never came up. But I'm not worrying about that. Because you know now that I am in this position to pick, to choose, to refuse, and to do what I want to do with my liberties and my freedoms, I'm going to move on with my life like I've been doing. I'm going to move further on with my life. And I'm going to get into a loving and a caring relationship. I'm going to spend quality time with my significant other. And I'm going to enjoy my life. And I'm going to allow God to deal with this stuff like social media. But I come to serve prophetic notice on the enemy. For every day that you have isolated your baby's mothers, that you have impregnated while you were pastoring and preaching, and then shoved under a shelf, for every member that you have stolen from their money, their time, their energy, for every wrongdoing that you have done, for all of the money that you have made while preaching and then sent it over to another country with bribes and everything else associated and attached to it, you're going to be brought accountable. You're going to be accountable, held accountable for that. And I have the promise of God for this one. All that I'm saying, I have the promise of God. Every single thing that you did to me in my social media, my Father God is now fighting for me and contending for me. Week after week, year after year, month after month, I came on. And I said, let my people go, is what God said. I stayed calm and resilient when my home was broken into while I was visiting my mother in New Jersey. And you know who you was. You know who you are. You had the people come here. Y'all broke into my house, changed all the locks on my home, planted whatever you wanted to plant in the alarm systems, cameras. If I moved in front of the little desk that was in my living room, that was all on the internet. Whatever I've ever said in my house from the time of May till now, you broke in my house and hid cameras and microphones and everything else. I have the proof and I have the evidence, because when I turn my phone on, although I live in the midst of the country around really nothing at all, your devices that you hid in here from AT&T show up on my devices. All of your devices. See, that's where you went wrong at. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's already been shipped off. All of your IP addresses, your internet names and all that. All of it. Screenshot as soon as I go to log into my internet. Now, they're going to do the proper analysis on the distance of those devices to find out how close they were to my house and why the signal bar was as high as it was if they were nowhere in my house or not planted something somewhere close by. I hope it was worth it. So you did all of that to try to stop the voice of God and to hinder my ministry and to stop me. And while we're dealing with all this sex trafficking y'all talking about, we better start with these bishops as well in the church who have done more than sex traffic. They have impregnated teenagers and hid these teenagers and their babies from 20 years ago till now. They have been nothing but perpetrators, predators, and perverts in the church and the kingdom. And not only have they done that, their children, their daughters, have stolen other people's babies and said that the babies were theirs when they're not. Now, that might not be sex trafficking, but that's certainly kidnapping. And definitely when you do it and you're able to get away with it because of who your father is. Now, I know all of y'all are used to exchanging levels of power because you friends with the big bishop, the big bishop, the bishop. And I know y'all used to keeping the $9 billion church industry money under wraps. I know y'all used to that. $9 billion industry. We know where 30, 40, 50 million of it already done went to Texas. So we got all that. So now all your paid constituents that done stole all of the church's money while refusing to do anything for one widow or one poor person, it ain't looking right. And you can't just come manufacture records today. These records for what you have done must have reached back long ago. All right? I'm just glad that the only thing you were able to take from me is Instagram likes and follows and Facebook pages and Facebook likes and follows. Because you better never in your life come near me again to try to do me any harm. Because you're going to go to jail. Your whole family's going to go to jail with you. And you're going to be underneath of the jail. You are nefarious. You are evil. And you are sinister. And I want it to be known. Anything that I've ever said, written, spoken, has been nothing but the truth. So help me God. And I will not this day or the next allow one man to go down for anything for me when there was 20 other men involved in the circus in the ring as well doing all this stuff. You and your blue chip people who you sit here to my home faking like you needed to come inside of my house to fix something. You didn't have to fix nothing. I had canceled that order 3 times. Never even made the order. And then you go, after you change my locks, you go on Twitter. I got the screenshot, nigga. So don't try to act like you didn't put it there. You know who you is. You went on that TikTok. You went on Twitter and then you posted, change the locks and make it so I'm the only one who's able to get in. Move that girl across the street from me. Pay how much you paid for that house. How much y'all paid for that house. And then had her put that big old camera in front of her house that can listen for up to a mile away to mark and monitor everything I do. How long y'all gonna keep doing that? Then you look, you got a car parked directly in front of my garage from one street over that's directly in front of my garage just staring at me all day long when I come in, when I go. How long y'all gonna keep doing that? Then you got people pulling up all in the back, standing on the corner, stalking, trying to look through my bedroom windows. How long that's gonna happen? I got all this proof and evidence. My question is, what for? I'm always gonna preach. I'm gonna do what God told me to do. But y'all got a lot of answering to do. And if you look at that Mayor Adams and all them other people, y'all people might start wanting to look up. So now the days that you teased me and laughed at me and said I was broke, didn't have no money, you called around, told all the other celebrities she ain't got no money, she just a wannabe, she broke, she poor, she all these kinds of, it was so funny, wasn't it? But let's see if it be funny in the future for you. Because you should stop teasing people who didn't swindle and rob everybody out of their money to act like they was looking like they was somebody. At least my start has been legit and it wasn't corrupt. So yeah, laugh and say, ain't nobody come. Even when they went online all those times. I'm just saying this because y'all be able to see it after the live is up. They came online talking about, ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody gonna give you $1. Ain't nobody gonna give you a dime. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing for you. Whew. God, you are so great. I just love the way God does what he does. So, peace out. I hope everybody, congratulations, stay congratulations, and it don't switch off to nothing else. Because that's a lot of church money y'all done stole to get this wife and take that trip and take that flight and that flight and that flight. I just don't understand why most false pastors and bishops don't take some of the money they done stole from the church and pay some of their child support off with it. Or perhaps they got wise enough to start doing that too. I'll holler.